There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to another lunchtime learning session here on CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and on today's show, we're going to mix it up a little bit because, of course, we've got one of our favorite people in the industry. In fact, many people's favorite in the industry. I'm going to make him blush a little bit. Ricardo Lima from SiriusXM Canada will be joining us today, along with a whole bunch of friends. When I say friends, I do mean some top dealers from across the country. They'll be chiming in, and we'll be talking about, some key points and how important it is to be involved with, to sell, to promote, to be part of the whole movement that is SiriusXM. Because honestly, from a retailer perspective, man, if you're not upselling your customers to this, you're certainly missing out on some prime opportunities. And we're going to go over all those, benefits that you need to know about from a retail standpoint today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome the man himself, Ricardo Lima, coming to you live. Well, I don't know where he is. I'm guessing he's in Toronto. He could be anywhere, but I'm going to say he's in Toronto, probably. Ricky, am I right? Are you in Toronto?
Mm-mm.
You're not in Toronto.
No, I'm in East Gwillimbury, but most people I say I'm in Newmarket.
Newmarket, fair enough.
East Gwillimbury is a little bit, it doesn't really roll off the tongue very nicely.
Well, it's because I saw you in the back studio, and I seen the background, and I've seen that similar setup you've done from the from the studios in Toronto as well. So I took a guess.
If I took this and set it across, you would just see my living room and the hallway to my home.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah. How are you?
I am doing great, man. Like, I look at we're end of October. I cannot believe we're already nearing the year end. I look at our collaboration this year together, Ricky, and obviously SiriusXM's huge, biggest supporter of what we do here at CMA. Between all these connecteds that we've done, like we're over 130 some odd connecteds now, and we still got 2 months to go.
That is insane. And then you add in the live.
The lives were
shows,
like going at episode 18.
You add in the fall workshop. You add in the industry week. I mean, it's been a busy year.
It's been a
phenomenal year.
It's been a phenomenal year. It's had its challenges. I think everybody can agree with that. But there's a lot of good that comes out of it. And I think those that are finding success have, been able to maneuver through all these challenges. And hopefully benefit from the information, the training that we put forth, and stay on top of things. And you've done some great things this year as well, between what you did at the fall workshops, as well as during industry week training. How important. Like, we're going to talk about that today, but you are literally showing dealers how to take advantage of a brand like SiriusXM and the products and services that comes with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think aside from that, the other big thing is really building the relationship with each and every dealer that I can, right? The reality is it's been a tough, 19 months now. And I would love to be out visiting everybody, but, that has certainly posed its challenges. And I mean, thank God for this platform and CMA, and being able to connect with everybody through this platform certainly has been an integral part of our strategy in 2021. And 100% is going to be an integral part of our strategy in 2022. So very much looking forward to what's on the horizon, as well as looking forward to being able to continue to build these relationships with all these amazing dealers in Canada and start to build them from a face-to-face perspective.
Yeah, I think everybody's missing that component already. You got a fan base, right? So I'm just going to keep on popping them up the more they come in. Everybody. I talk to any retailer, they're like, Ricky, yeah, I know Ricky. How's Ricky? Like, everybody knows you. How do you know everybody? I don't even understand it. I don't even know. It's
I don't know. People say that I talk too much. And that's
you talk too much.
I talk too much. But it's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen.
Nice outfit, by the way. We look like twins.
Dude, bro, on fleek. That's what it. That's how we.
Oh, I
roll.
forgot. I'm wearing black underneath though.
Oh, it's okay. I contrasted. Just tried a little contrast.
Yeah.
I mentioned that we have some great guests with us. We're going to do a little bit of a roundtable, kind of like we've got some retailers from across the country to come and join us. We've got. Let's just name them off. We have the Audio Warehouse from Saskatchewan is going to be in the house. We've got Sudbury Car Audio in the house. We've got Certified Autosound Security, BC Way. They're going to be on East Hamilton Radio, and even Advanced Electronics is going to be represented. So a real eclectic spread. And I think that's important because if we're going to discuss things, we want to get that, national kind of perspective, right? Yeah,
absolutely. And there's, to try to come up with a round table, the guys that we have on today are phenomenal. And I wish I could do this every single week and have a new assortment of dealers, because every single dealer in Canada deserves their recognition for all the hard work that they do. They do something that is not very much available, at the masses, right? Like, where else are you going to go
specific.
to get professional work done? Where are you going to go? Mm-hmm. Right? So, you can't go to get anything installed at Best Buy anymore, as an example, right? So, we want to get something done professionally and proper. We have amazing dealers across the country. And like I said, I wish I could do this every single week and have 5 or 6 new guys on every time. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to expand that in the future.
I have a feeling this is going to be fun. So
yeah.
Before we get them on, we just got a little bit of business to square away that we want to talk about. Where do you want to start?
So before we start, and what I wanted to cover off really high level, because we've conducted a lot of training, through Live and Connected and Industry Week and Fall Workshop. So I just wanted to do a really high level recap and kind of break it down into four key pillars, which is the content, the benefits to the customer, benefits to the dealer, and what's the fourth one that I'm missing here? We'll get to it.
I'm sure it's on the slide.
Yeah. So, but before we get started, and where we're going to start is on the content side. I thought we show a couple of new commercials that we recently produced. You can find them readily available on our YouTube channels. But why don't we pop those up so everybody can get a chance to see some of the new things that SiriusXM has developed?
Absolutely. So these are 3 brand new commercials. They're not very long, but this gives you a taste of how Sirius can empower the retailer and also motivate people to see like the scope of what SiriusXM does. So let's go ahead.
Goes topics. Let's talk about today's the day where I'm going to topics.
Roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on SiriusXM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?
Just to have Kevin Hart,
who doesn't
know, right?
Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio, exclusive to SiriusXM, get all that comedy content, which is amazing. And it sums up the fourth pillar, which I forgot when we were doing the intro, which is the ways to listen. Again, because the one thing that we want to get across to anybody that's listening or any customer that's looking for content, we are not here to tell you how to consume your content. We want you to just enjoy everything that SiriusXM has to offer. And I think that encapsulates the different ways that you can listen to it. It doesn't cover off the vehicle side, but we'll certainly get there too.
Absolutely. Second one here is one of my favorites. It has to do with lasagna. Let's take a look.
Hey, Kevin, do you want some lasagna?
Basically like a barrel.
I made lasagna.
What?
I made lasagna.
Who's Tanya?
What?
What?
Kevin, do you want some lasagna?
You stepped in what?
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 I made lasagna.
Tomorrow is mañana.
What?
I think you should have Kevin Hart just do all the SiriusXM commercials.
He's incredible. But who doesn't love Dave Grohl too? I mean, the Foo Fighters are awesome,
iconic.
Yeah,
and they had a channel too.
They did have a channel to celebrate the launch of their latest album. I think we've had them on before too.
Oh yeah, it's been more than.
But who knows? This is what's great, because once we bring on temporary takeover channels, right? It opens up the opportunity for planning for something long-term down the road, right? So if the listenership is there, if we get the feedback, these are things that we try to push for, because we do outside of their temporary takeover channel, we have the permanents like Pearl Jam Radio, like Bruce Springsteen, like Frank Sinatra, like Elvis Presley. We've got the Grateful Dead. We've got some great content specific
Tragically
to
Hip.
Tragically
Sorry,
Hip.
I had
Yeah.
to mention that's one of my favorites.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
One more to go, and this kind of rounds out the whole campaign here. We'll get to what this is all about.
Hey, y'all. Can we change up the chores?
Sorry. It's up to the wheel, man.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, change the channel back.
Sorry, it's up to the wheel.
Yeah, there you go. So I listen, I love those commercials. It's very much specific to, and focuses a lot on the streaming side, and it's not to take away from the in-vehicle experience, because that's why we're here today. But really what the focus here is the capabilities of taking your experience outside of the vehicle, which I think is very important. And it's something that when you ask a lot of people, they just associate SiriusXM with being in vehicle, just an in-vehicle experience, and we're not.
This is such a huge value add. It's a huge value proposition. You know what I mean?
Like, I use it, and I don't use it just because I work for the company. I love the content that is available on our platform, and I say platform and not satellite platform, but just in general, because I use it in my vehicle. I use it when I go for a run, or if I take a bike ride, I listen to it on my phone, or when I'm sitting in my office and I use Google Voice Assist to connect to my Google Mini so that I can get caught up on the news or play some music while I get my day started. So, being able to expand that experience, wherever you are, that's what makes our content and our product even stickier.
Stickier indeed. Based on content, we're talking over 350 channels.
Yeah. So content. when you add in the channel count for in vehicle, then you expand that to the streaming side, you get over 350 channels. And I don't even think that includes some of the Pandora stations that you can create, which we'll talk about. But SiriusXM, we're not just music, we're sports, we're talk, we're entertainment. We can be, for the average person, we can be a one-stop shop for everything. If you want to get a music fix in, great. If you like Howard Stern, well, we got 2 of his channels available. If you're a sports buff, you want to get some NHL, Major League Baseball, NBA, PGA Sports, whatever you're into, we have that available. On the talk and the news side, there's lots of ways for you to get caught up on the current events. And then on the comedy side, we've got great content that's available. Featured, Kevin Hart in a couple of those commercials, and he brings a huge audience. And the one thing that's not on here is some of the Canadian channels that we produce. On the comedy side, we have a Canadian channel that allows allows Canadian comedians to break into a North American market. So what we do in Canada is very important for our entire mix and what we're looking to do here. But this all comes down to one thing in content. Content is king, and we have everything available.
Arguably the kings of content. I don't even know how you can compare anything else, especially with the names that you can drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So you talked about ways to listen, right? I think that those commercials that we saw certainly
that first commercial starting with Kevin Hart in the vehicle, then getting in home and he's working out and he's got on the laptop, and then he moves over to the phone, and then he moves over to voice assist with, I think it's with Alexa. That's really just encompasses what you see here, which is taking that experience everywhere you go, right? From an in-vehicle perspective, you can move over to the next slide. We work with every single automotive manufacturer in North America to get into as many vehicles as possible, but we're not in every single vehicle. We know that we're not every single, vehicle buyer is going to be a SiriusXM customer. We're selective on which vehicles we go in, but we try to get into as many vehicles as possible. But for those vehicles that are not factory equipped, we have great solutions available, obviously with the streaming side, but if you want to get that satellite content and not use your data inside your vehicle, we have Aftermarket Solutions from a easier to do it yourself plug and play perspective, right to the SXV300, which is, over 90% easily the volume of the installs and the sales to the audience that we talked to today, right? And it's because you want this thing professionally installed. You were talking about your recent experience of getting it installed. You see, it's not easy for a customer to do this themselves.
Not if you want to position that antenna perfect. You know what I mean? Like you have to go through the liner, you got to get to the back, you got to put it in the right spot.
It takes time. It takes time to do it. And on top of that, there could be things in the back of that head unit that you don't want to damage, or you don't want to do things the wrong way. But the
worst is if everything's so tight, and sometimes things are real tight back there.
Yeah.
You're pulling out the unit, you unclip, something happens.
Yeah.
Now it's on you. So you want that. It's always great to bring it to the 12-volt special.
That's right. But the in-vehicle experience, and again, for the audience today, I can't say it enough. The SXV300 is the perfect solution for the audience today, because you're dealing with customers coming in requesting head units to get installed, and if that head unit says SiriusXM ready,
and the car doesn't have a factory SXM,
this is all that it takes. And if it is, but even if it is factory equipped, but the head unit is kind of entry level, they'll swap it out with something with a larger screen, or something a little bit better. And the beauty about those installs is you can get a SAT adapter and not have to run that magnetic mount antenna. You can just actually plug in directly to the
use the factory antenna, so the factory SiriusXM antenna.
Yeah. So this is one of the areas that we want to focus on the ways to listen. Then when we move to the next slide, we talk about the streaming component. And the streaming side, again, this is where things get really exciting too. And some of this technology may make its way into the aftermarket side, but when I use the app, it certainly expands my way to listen. And some of the key features that we have available on the app is the extra channels, which basically are over 100 channels of variations of our most popular channels. So if you like the 80s, we've got like the 80s workout. As one example, personalized stations by Pandora. If you search for an artist and you scroll down to see the results and it says Pandora station, you click on that, and now you've created a channel for that artist. And what it'll do is play that artist or band, and it will play music from the same type, and genre, and era.
One of my personal favorite features. You don't have to think. You don't have to think.
No,
it does the thinking for you.
Yeah. And then what you do is because this is powered by Pandora, the biggest streaming provider in the US, not available in Canada, is taking their algorithm, being able to thumb up and thumb down songs so that you can customize that listening experience. And all of you can create over 150 of these, I believe, on the app. And the beauty of it is interruption free. So no DJ talk, no channel IDs, even though our music channels on our satellite platform are 100% commercial free. Sometimes you'll have a
DJ talk.
DJ talk, or other ones that don't have DJ talk, you'll hear you're listening to the Coffee House on SiriusXM.
Yes. Tags,
right?
Station ID tags. Yeah.
Pandora stations, you create a channel, it is just music and nothing else.
Sweet.
It's kind of like sit back and listen. It's fantastic. You got the video side, and then the podcast, which is something that's fairly new with the acquisition of Stitcher. In the US, we now are able to adopt one of the most emerging platforms, which is podcasts. I mean, everybody listens to podcasts now. So now you can get some podcasts through your app, and some of them are exclusive to SiriusXM, one being Marvel, and there's so many that you can actually listen to, and you can download and listen offline too. So you don't have to be constantly streaming and using your data.
Awesome.
And then taking that experience at home, on the last slide, I believe, is being able to connect with different devices at home.
Oh, sorry. Went too fast there.
Yeah, or you're going the wrong way too.
I went the wrong way. There we go. Listen at home.
Is being able to listen to a computer, laptop, your phone, a Google or Amazon device, with voice assist, a smart TV, Roku, Sonos. There's more than what you see here, But again, what you're trying to do is being able to, encapsulate the user experience. Listen to it in your.
It's a value add. Some people, when they go change their radio, for them that is the moment by which they are being pitched Sirius XM right there when they decide to change their radio. So it's important that what you're offering them or what you're suggesting they buy into is multifaceted and multi-platform, and that you could listen at home and listen on the go or whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. And so anyways, this wraps up the first two pillars, which one was content, the other one was ways to listen. Then we get into the customer benefits, right? So on the customer benefits side, what's the value add here? So the value add from an aftermarket perspective, every single radio that we produce and sell in Canada comes with 3 months of our of free service, which is our platinum service. We have 3 different tiers of service. Platinum is the top tier, gives you over 350 channels in your car, on your phone, and at home, gives you all the everything that we basically covered off. But you get your first 3 months free, which is huge, right? Gives you an opportunity to sample everything. Once you're done your 3 months, then you can pick and choose. How do you want to stay on platinum? Do you want to expand and go to or downgrade to a music and entertainment plan? As an example, we have different options available, but at least your first 3 months, you get the best to experience everything, and then you can make your choices from there. And then the other benefit specific to the audience is being able to promote not only 3 months free, but the opportunity to get your money back for the SXV300, which is our 2 Ways to Save program, 3 months free plus $80 rebate. You have that on the next slide, right?
There it is.
Yeah. So we call this a 2 Ways to Save, which is get your 3 months free plus $80 rebate. And we've made it so easy for the customer to take advantage of this. They purchase the radio, they have it installed, they call in or go online to activate the radio, no promo code required. These radios are branded with our offer. So as soon as they enter the radio ID online, they're going to see that 3 months free is right there. And then they just go to SiriusXM.ca/rebate80 to submit for their $80 rebate to get $80 back. I mean,
80
who doesn't
bucks,
like free?
Man. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Free,
much the entire
free,
all the hardware, like half the hardware paid for.
Yeah. And now that $80 rebate, specific to the audience and to the independent car audio channel, is not just on the SXV300, but if you are carrying some of our other dock and play radios, it also qualifies for the $80 rebate. But $80 for the SXV300 means you get it free after rebate.
There you go.
Yeah.
Easy.
So that is our third pillar. And then lastly is really getting into what's in it for the dealer. What are the benefits of the dealer? And again, we've talked a lot about this in our training sessions through CMA, the profitability in the installation, the supporting POS materials, the ability to get programming highlights and updates through a monthly newsletter, which you can easily subscribe to by just emailing retail@SiriusXM.ca, showroom demo service, associate service plans, buy-in specials. There's a lot that we want to provide our key, or to provide every retailer that's in this industry of doing car audio. And it all comes down to what is it that we can provide you so that as many of these, right, move off your shelf, right? Nobody wants to carry inventory just for the sake of having, something on your shelf, right? You want to move that product so that you are addressing profitability and installation. And it's much easier to do that when we are providing you with all the tools that you need, whether it's to demo it or whether it's to provide those POS materials. And again, we've covered a lot of these.
And I want to remind our audience, whether you're watching this live or on demand, go check out the fall workshops. Ricky does a top to bottom demo, goes through literally your entire toolbox that SXM provides you as a retailer, for everything from little stickers and POS materials and all the stuff to decorate your soundboards and your showrooms. It's all there. So go check that out.
Yeah. And as we prepare though for 2022 and creating kits for 2022, this is where, and we mentioned this on the fall workshop, and we can talk a little bit about this with our guests, is really understanding what works and what doesn't work, right? Because what we have created so many different things in the past. I mean, we've created, these car audio wall with like a dummy unit that has like LED lighting around that can go on a car audio wall. We've done install tools. Vase technology, there's something really cool with a little screwdriver that just slides into your pocket, pens, everything. We've produced a lot, but we can't, what we need to get away from is just producing everything, right? We want to produce what works for the dealer. And these are some of the things that I will learn as I build my relationship with the entire dealer network in Canada, so that we can produce the right materials that work best for you, so that we can help you sell more SXV300s and become more profitable.
I want to mention just in bold here in the bottom here, buy-in specials posted in CMA communities. If you're watching this and you are a retailer, 12-volt retailer in Canada, you're not a part of our CMA dealer group. It's an exclusive private dealer group on Facebook. Make sure you hit us up. We'll get you in there. Specials through Sirius and other brands only posted in that group. So if you're not in there, you might miss it, and you don't want to miss these specials because they go pretty deep. So
yeah,
all
and
right.
you can work directly with CMA. You can also work directly with your distributor.
Right.
We've got great distributors in Canada that we work with, and that they're going to be happy to help you too, because when we put these offers out, it's facilitated through the distributors, right? 100%. And we work directly with the distributor. So make sure that you stay in contact with both CMA as well as your distributors that you work with.
Awesome. Well, you were talking just there, Ricky, about getting feedback from retailers to kind of better understand what works, doesn't work. Maybe get some stories from the showroom floor, from the sales floor. Maybe it's a good time to bring on some of our guests. What would you say?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm excited.
So they've been patiently waiting in the background. So let's see. I'm going to randomly put some people up here. Let's go to Saskatchewan. We've got Mr. Dave Hryhor from the Audio Warehouse. What's going on, Dave? Thanks for joining.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah,
Davey boy.
From Saskatchewan, we're going to fly over to Sudbury, Ontario. A repeat offender over here in CMA, Mr. Conrad Leduc.
Up in the Big Nickel.
How's it going, guys? I'm a lifer.
You're a lifer. All right. Another repeat offender here, going to Winnipeg. Legendary, iconic Advanced Electronics. We got Tony Tummillo joining us. What's going on, Tony?
Hello.
Hello. Now, some newcomers that I'm very excited to have on the show for the very first time. So, Rick, I want to give you a high five for inviting these guys on. Let's go to East Hamilton Radio, legendary shop in that area with Anthony Mari. What's going on, Anthony?
We're making it live, and it's true to form. And Ricky knows we played hockey in the parking lot, and that's how we started our theming with SiriusXM.
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago. I think I won there.
Well, thanks for making the time today, Anthony. And then last but not least, for the first time, happy to have him. We're going to have him back. He runs a really tight ship out in BC. Certified Autosound and Securities, Pat Lee. What's going on, Pat? Welcome.
How's it going, guys? Hey, how's it going?
So very good, Ricky. Like I said, we promised our audience that we'd have an eclectic group, a dynamic group, a representation of dealers, independent dealers from across the country. So all these are your customers, are they not? Every single one of them.
They most certainly are. And I have had the pleasure of working with, Tony as an example, Tony Murray out in East Hamilton Radio. Man, I've known him for... I have had the pleasure of working with 13 years, 14 years. Tony is an example.
That'd be about that time, yeah.
Man, I've known him for... Yeah. I'm starting to hear it. I'm hearing it.
There is an echo. I'm trying to figure out who that's coming from. Let's see if we can isolate it real quick.
Starting to hear it. I'm hearing it. There is an echo.
Sorry, guys. Let me just figure that out. It was Tony. Tony? Oh, Tony's going to come back. I think he just realized he's going to fix his setup there. Okay, let's dive into it.
Anyways, like I was saying, I've had the chance to connect with all these guys over the years, events, and it's been great to develop these relationships with these key dealers and many more that we have in Canada, but these guys are big hitters. Yeah, we're good, Tony. Thank you.
Well, listen, let's get to it. We got a couple questions because obviously we want to kind of go around, right? We want to give everybody an opportunity to kind of give their feedback on this. Obviously today, the theme, the topic is SiriusXM, and Ricky's a big preacher of how this helps in sales, how there's opportunity. So let's start with the first question: is how do you promote SiriusXM, and more specifically the SXV300 in your shop? And as an is it more of an add-on sale, or does it happen once in a while that it's a standalone sale? Let's start with you, Dave.
I find that it's just part of that pitch. Someone's coming in looking for that new radio. Our guys have certain questions they ask right off the bat. Do you still use CDs or not? Are you Apple or Android? That third question, are you a Sirius subscriber? And they give you that yes or no. If they are, hey, do you want me to get that into your vehicle with your new radio? And it makes it pretty easy when you're using it in that same pitch for the same, every single time for the past 20 years. It just gets, and who knows, it just by asking that question, even if you get that sale on that extra module one time out of that 10 questions, it's worth it, right? And if you aren't a subscriber, this is what you can get into, so I can have that interface right on that radio, right? So that's what I find is it works out the easiest, and then we have the little SiriusXM ready tags that right beside the head units that kind of have that customer, so they know. They just, I got it in my brand new Ford that came factory. I didn't know I could put it in, the wife's vehicle when I'm putting in this new deck, right? So then they ask the question as well. So
very interesting. So for you, it's a critical point of the conversation from the get-go when you're in that, soundboard head unit discussion.
And that's exactly it. So it's just part of that pitch. So
part of that pitch. Let's go to Anthony at East Hamilton Radio. You guys are no stranger to SiriusXM, nor head units for that matter, of course, like anybody else here. What's your take on this?
A lot of it is done through the qualifying questions. Obviously, when it becomes part of the unit sale, because anytime we can attach some profitability to a unit, whether it is a hot button of the consumer, we have to bring that up because we don't always get to see the cars and say, hey, you know what? You have Sirius Radio activated. That's a reverse kind of catch-up game. We want to be proactive in saying, you know what? Do you want to be part of SiriusXM with this unit? And that opens up a whole discussion with the consumer, as well as not only that, but we are in this business, like I said to other manufacturers, in the business for music. We're selling music.
Yeah.
And SiriusXM is right down that line. So why would we be in this industry but to sell music, right? And that also enjoys and invokes the customer's pleasure with the product.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Anthony. I'd like to go to Pat. I'm going to just rephrase the question again. How, with your stores, what do you tell your sales staff? How are they trained to communicate SiriusXM SXV300 to customers coming to your shops?
Our stores are a little more boutique style, so we don't really have, the hangers and things like that. So it's very much always a discussion with a client when they come in, looking to replace their head unit and things like that. So for us, we love having the add-on, the extra labor aspect of it, and the profitability in the part always plays into effect. So it's always top of mind for us to talk about it and see if we can, persuade our client to, either add Sirius if they don't already have it, or to continue using it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So top of mind, part of the conversation. These are the kind of things. The music element is all big things. Conrad, in your neck of the woods, I think Sirius is pretty popular, if I'm not mistaken, in the stats, especially in like the rural areas of Canada. I'm not going to say Sudbury's rural, but certainly not Toronto. You know what I'm saying? So do you see a lot of that coming in? Do customers asking for it? Or do you still find yourself training yourself to always bring that into the conversation when you're talking to them?
It's a bit of both, but you're right. Sudbury's not small, but between, one city and the next, there's nothing in between. So if you're going to drive from here to Timmins and it's a 4-hour drive and there's zero radio in between those two cities, you're going to be awfully bored. So, we have Sirius in the board on a demo account. We have it in the truck. We have those tags that Ricky sent us. We have SiriusXM always behind us.
What is that right over your right shoulder? Those look like SXV300s.
Yep, they're always there. And people.
And that was not staged.
No.
Those are always there.
Yeah, but we promote it. Someone will come in and say, they want to hear speakers. Well, what do you listen to? I listen to country. Okay, well, let's throw it on. I always say, well, let's see what Sirius has on country right now. And I want that too. It's just another way to introduce it, right?
So you actually show them by using the channel as the demo, and that kind of blends into your conversation.
Yeah. So I'll use my phone, and we have it. I obviously have the app on the phone, and I'm connected to all my radios via Bluetooth. And if they say, whatever genre, well, let's see what these guys have on right now. And 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, that's a good song. So then they're happy, right? And then they want to get.
And you made that connection.
100%. They add it on.
And you use the music, like Anthony said. Yeah.
Ricky gave us so many pens that every customer gets 37 pens. So it's a really good promotion, and it works.
Get 37 pens with any purchase of an SSV 300 this weekend only.
That's not part of the pitch, okay? Each dealer gets 2 pens. Okay, I just think that over the years, Conrad has been, with every single event that he attends, can I get a box? Can I get a box?
Yeah.
I think he's just been doing a good job of collecting.
Tony, what's the advanced electronics take on SXV 300 when it comes to the retail side?
Well, everybody has covered the exact same sort of ideas. Those little tags that have the promotions right on it, we have that right on our display. Of course, we have satellite radio, SiriusXM running on our demo board all the time from morning to. As soon as I walk in, that's the first thing I do is turn on my stereo, and I listen to a road trip 301, so that's on all the time.
That's a great station.
I feel it's the best station. It gives you the best from the old to the new, and it's on all the time. So you can see when customers are coming into the store, they're singing already, they're tapping their toes, they're listening to that wonderful music that's already been playing in our showroom, and they're singing along, dancing in the store. We've had customers dancing in the store, believe it or not, and so it's a great experience. And of course, like I said, all our sales team are programmed to ask if would you like to add satellite radio onto your stereo purchase and all that sort of good stuff.
Very cool. What do you have to say about these comments, Ricky?
I think they all hit the nail on the head. And the one thing that I try to get across when I provide the training is, don't be afraid to accept a no, right? If somebody doesn't want it, all they're going to do is say no. They're not going to walk out of your store, right? Because you said, do you want SiriusXM? If they say no, guess what? You're still selling the head unit, whatever other accessories, and you still completed the install. The most important part, which everybody talked about, is the timing of positioning that add-on. You don't want to do it or have the customer find out after the fact, because then they got to come back in with their vehicle, and then either they're going to pay for the install again, or you're going to say, I'm sorry that we didn't offer it to you. Let's get it in. Pay for the hardware. We'll cover the labor. Whatever, however that scenario happens, you don't want to be in that scenario. You want to either get a yes or a no from the customer at the time that they're selecting their head unit and scheduling their install, and then go from there. But like Dave said, if 1 or 2 times out of 10 they say yes, think about how many times you ask the question. Think about how many head units you do on an annual basis, and at the end of the year, it's going to add up, right? And like I said, profitability certainly is important. Yeah, and it looks like we lost our good buddy.
Yeah.
So while we try to get Ben back, maybe we've talked about these add-ons and how important add-ons are, but Dave, with SiriusXM and other categories, as far as being able to add on additional accessories at time of install and time of sale, how important is that for you guys there?
It's always important, right? Just that added labor dollars, that added just dollar on the sale, right? Just that added money onto the sale is always good. And like we said before, clients getting looked after, and it's not like we're selling them something that they're not going to use, right? So it's very important to the overall, whether it's the install bay dollars or money at the till, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Sure. And Conrad, so what other type of add-ons are available when you think about selling and installing a head unit into a customer's vehicle? Outside of SiriusXM, what are the other options that you think can be available for, again, increasing that profitability?
You get into like phone cables, stuff like that, but the profitability is so low. I mean, a phone cable can only be so much money. So adding Sirius generates way more. And as everyone else will agree, adding labor, you don't really charge labor to install a cell phone cable, but to install an SXV300, that's where you're making good GM there.
Yeah.
So that's where your profit comes from. And then there's things like adding on the antenna adapter for the OEM antenna.
Yep. That's an important one to keep in stock too, because, and I can't stress this enough. I mean, you guys know what it's like to run that magnetic mount car antenna, right? It's not always ideal. But you want to make it clean for the customer, right? So having that SAT adapter available in stock when a vehicle comes in that was already factory equipped with SiriusXM, you already have that technology built into the factory antenna. So now you're not having to run that cable anymore. You can just utilize the factory antenna and connect to it. So, that's another great add-on to make sure that you have in stock. How about you, Tony?
Yeah, and always stock the long and the short one.
Yeah.
Yes. I was just going to say that. Pat, you beat me to it. Come on.
Stole your thunder, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. We actually I'm surprised. I got lucky one time, and I can't remember, it was a Ford vehicle, and the factory antenna connection was in the trunk. And so thank God I had the 17-foot extension in stock so we could retain the factory antenna. So I got lucky that I actually had it in stock. So that's actually a good point to make sure you do have the short and the long in stock.
Yeah. And, the one accessory that you may want to think about as well is if you're doing outside of the SXV300, if you're doing some of those dock and play radios, there's the, what it requires for power, right? You've got that cigarette lighter adapter. Well, sometimes a customer may want to not have it sticking in that power, right? So they want to keep it free. So there are adapters you can get so that you can actually power directly into the vehicle.
For sure.
Yeah. Mr. Mary, any final thoughts on this one?
No, I think it's great. We've done a lot of promotions with Ricky, myself, and that's how our relationship, started. Ricky and myself doing the hockey things out there, and we've done indoor events, immediately hooking up people through their reps, the CSRs. It's been a fantastic relationship for vendor and commodity. And I got to say, Ricky really works it hard. Every event I've walked into, whether it's California, BC, Ricky and myself, it's almost like we start over like we just saw each other yesterday. So that's important as a relationship to the vendor.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for those kind words, Tony. So the next question that I think was something that you guys kind of touched on a little bit, and it was great to get perspective from all of you on this one. And this goes along the lines of the POS materials. So, you guys talked about, using the stickers and the tags, and Pat, you talked about, how you're more of a boutique, right? So you don't want all those materials hanging, right? And this is where building these relationships with the dealers is really important to SiriusXM, and personally to myself, is because we want to ensure that we are creating the right materials for you all, so that whether it's ingrained in your sales pitch or whether it is something that also is assisted by something that's visual for the customer. So understanding the materials that we've created over the last couple of years, what has worked for you guys, and what have you not seen that maybe I can take some notes and take back to the drawing board with the marketing team, so that we can, think about some additional options. Dave, why don't we start with you?
I think, the real benefit is, like the other guys talked about, having that showroom demo service is always nice, because then you have SiriusXM going all the time. The second you turn on the boards in the morning, it's playing, right? Or, if we're demoing something, hey, what do you listen to, Mr. Customer? And we throw on that station quick. It's not like we have to flip through our phone and find that song that's already on our phone, to find that exact song, right? So that showroom demo service is nice. You were talking about that 2 ways to save and eligible retailers and stuff like that. It would be nice if there was a where to buy maybe on on Sirius's website. I know it's tough because it takes away from SiriusXM's online sales, but you talking about, hey, if you go buy this hardware from an eligible retailer, you're going to get $80 back. So why not have that list of dealers who are already dealers on there, so people aren't searching and they can just walk right in and say, hey, I saw this on the website. I saw that you're an eligible dealer. Do you have that XV300 in stock, right? So I think that would be nice. So we definitely use, the associate plans or whatever. Some of my guys have it, right? And who knows? They're driving with 3 other people. Oh, what channel is this? Blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'll subscribe to it. So just having those is always nice. The POS is good. Everybody always loves POS. So
Yeah, thank you, Dave. And the one thing that you touched on, which currently isn't available, I will say that it is something that we're looking to remedy. Something that's been in the works, and we're working with our web team to figure out the best way to do this. But likely in the new year, look for something like that, where if somebody goes onto our 2 ways to save page and they're looking and they're learning more about the SXV300 and the head units, and they want to find out where they can get it professionally installed, we are working towards something where we're going to provide that search vehicle for the customer, so they don't need to start popping into random stores and finding out that actually installation is not available. So look for that in the new year.
Yeah, and make it, like you just said, make it easy for the client, right? So they're not calling around, spending their whole day calling around to find someone that either has it or will install it or what have you, right? So
perfect. How about you, Conrad?
Well, the support from you guys is fantastic. I don't know. With free demo accounts, right? We're showing people the product. Like, they get to use the product before they buy it. What else does that? It's fun.
And I know you're a fan of the pens, but outside of the pens, is there anything do you think that SiriusXM is missing in the assortment of supporting materials?
Apart from having Kevin Hart pop out of one of my cabinets and saying, "Why don't you want to buy it?" I don't know. Like, I don't know. No.
That was a good impression. I'm glad that this is being recorded, and maybe I'll see if I can send this to Kevin. You might get a phone call, Conrad. I'm just saying.
Hey, we'll accept it. We'll get a bench you can stand on. I'm sorry to say that, but
Mr. Tony Mari.
Well, what would really be good is some cross advertising, maybe with an outdoor store or something like a golf town, right? Demographic wise, Father's Day coming in, doing an indoor putting green or something like that, where there's a certain incentive for the father gets a T-shirt or something like that, or whatever, a pen, whatever it may be. Executing some cross networking. As you speak, was a lot of, I don't know how many on the team here golf, but a lot of people do golf, right? And I find that sometimes that cross reference will make it easier, where see a dealer near you, something like a cross promotion for that would help as well too, in indoor excitement.
Great. Pat, how about you? Since your showroom, as you explained, is more boutique style and unique, where you're probably not looking to put up that big poster that I sent you, or put up the service counter mat, or put up the tear pads. Like, there's all the stuff that we create, again, doesn't fit for everybody. So I'm interested to get your take on what you think would work for certified.
I think honestly, the demo accounts for the staff members make the biggest difference, because if they're consuming the content themselves, it's so natural to be able to translate that to the client, and that works really, really well. It creates the excitement for even the technician. They pull a radio out. Oh, it's got a sat radio antenna here. Maybe we call the client and ask them if they would like to add that or retain it. And we seem to always be able to get that sale and that extra little labor, and it really, really works out. Some additional potential spiff on the back end or on the front end for the salesperson or installer would be great as well, because that just adds a little bit of extra incentive. But as far as POP goes and things like that, it just doesn't conform with our business as far as putting things up and doing things like that. We're very clean, no big tags, no nothing like that. And but I'm sure, like, we all have different businesses, we all do things different, and it probably works really, really well for other people.
Awesome. So then Tony, in advance, I'll ask you this last one, kind of tying into what Pat just said. We're going down the path of again, designing your new materials, do you find over the last couple of years with COVID and how things are presented in your everyday life now, the use of QR codes has become more and more prevalent? Do you see, if we were to explore looking at, doing QR codes that would send you to relevant pages to find out more information about the offer and how to redeem and things like that, would you find something like that a little bit cleaner and more relevant to being able to promote SiriusXM?
Maybe in conjunction too. I see that people are starting to use QR codes more and more. So it is getting more and more relevant. I was going to throw in there, I just was brainstorming as everybody was talking, and this would be, because our showroom floors are so tight with space and all that sort of stuff, so it's hard for us to put additional posters up. But maybe putting a vinyl floor sticker might be a good idea, because like I said, we love those little dongies that stick right on the wall and stuff like that. So we guys, that one right there.
Yeah.
What's the name of that? I'm dying to know. What do you call that?
We call this a car audio dangler.
A dangler.
A dangler. Yeah. Just because it dangles. Got it?
Yeah. It's great.
It's
great. I love them. But a vinyl floor sticker, I might be able to convince my owner to say, hey, I can put this on the floor to try and get additional sales. So that might be a potentially good idea.
I will say that one has not come up in our discussions and our planning with the marketing team. So this is one that I'll bring back. I love that idea, right? Because especially if you're standing in the area, you look down, it's right there, right?
Yeah, I just honestly just brainstormed it 2 seconds ago. So I'm like, what can I do?
That's a great idea. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, Ricky, I have one other thing I want to add, if that's cool.
Please
what
do.
about, can we get any copies of, let's say, the commercials that we just watched, half an hour ago or whatever? Like I have half a dozen TVs in my car audio showroom that just display, whether it's, Smart Start or My Car, whatever it is, just on there. Like if we have those videos playing in the background as well, I think that would be better, right? Than pamphlets and flyers sitting everywhere. If I have that playing on the TVs with my normal, stuff every morning, because they're all playing something different, because that'd be neat for sure.
Yeah. So one of the things that we are also looking to do, and that hasn't been delivered, so it's perfect that you're mentioning it, is creating some type of dealer portal for you to be able to go online
to download
and download all these digital assets, because we do have that available. We could even create, during Father's Day or during the holidays, we can create with our marketing team ad mats that you can actually put into your digital flyers or whatever it may be. So that's another one that's in the works that we're hoping to get done in time for the car audio season. But I made a note of that as well. So thank you for bringing that one up too.
Thank you.
Ricky, I got a question or a comment coming in from Corey Vaillancourt from DC Car Audio. You'd like to see an instant rebate via QR code, like you mentioned, with a dealer kickback.
Instant rebate for the customer.
But with a dealer kickback on every activated rebate.
So the dealer kickback portion, and Pat talked a little bit about the spiffs and stuff, is something that we're working towards to make a little bit more prevalent and easier to access. With the instant rebate for the customer, something that we can certainly use and look to map out and see how that would work. We do have the $80 rebate that is available. The goal would be to create some materials with the QR code to make it easier for the customer to redeem. I know everybody loves instant, but think the $80 funding is expensive, right? So we want to ensure that we're doing this in a way that works, that's easy for the customer, and something that that we want the customers to certainly take advantage of. So we'll certainly make a note of that one, but look for QR codes a little bit more prevalent next year in some of the materials, and maybe as well in some of the packaging, again, to make it easier for the customer so that they can easily redeem to get that qualifying rebate back.
Cool. We're time is running. down, but we want to get to this cool question here because I thought this was really interesting. While we got these guys on, Ricky, we're all about content. I think Anthony was talking about the music, and Sirius is all about the type of content that we have. So we're going to go around. Let's get to know these personalities a little bit. Let's start with Conrad. Conrad, Sudbury Car Audio. What is your favorite programming on SiriusXM?
Honestly, it's LL Cool J's Rock the Bells. It's on.
Rock the Bells is awesome.
Yeah, really good.
Absolutely. Old school. He
Good
can kick it
Good
all the
pick.
way Wu-Tang, all the way to like pretty recent stuff. It's pretty neat. Very, very cool. Do you play that in the store, or is that in your car only?
Not in the store.
I was just checking.
That's in the truck.
Yeah.
That's the truck demo system. In the store, we'll do a mix of classic rewind and BPM.
BPM, yeah, that's a nice one. Cool.
On the note too, since Connor brought that up, with the store demos, if you are requesting a store demo, we have the capability of blocking explicit language channels.
Oh.
So if that is of concern for you, so that you don't want, if you've got a lot of families coming in and you don't want explicit language being played, we have the capability of providing a store demo that is more family friendly.
Really? That's very
Yeah.
good to know. Very good to know. How about you, Dave? What's on your SiriusXM? Oh, lithium.
Lithium. Yeah, sorry that. And early 90s grunge, the stuff that doesn't sound good at all in any board you put it on, but it's still my favorite music to listen to. I'm working in the backyard at home, I got the AirPods on and I got the app going, and that's all I listen to all day.
One of my favorites as well.
Yeah. Come on, Ricky. We know you only listen to Pearl Jam. I don't know why you. Anyways, Tony.
Pearl Jam comes up a lot on lithium.
It's kind of a little bit of crossover there. Yeah, absolutely. Tony, how about you?
I wrote a couple things down. So obviously I mentioned the road trip channel. That's our favorite in the store. It just mixes everything from new to old. I like the BPM as well. 90s on 9. And I might be a little weird, but sometimes on my ride home, I actually change it to watercolors, jazz
What
station.
is that?
Exactly.
I don't even know that one.
Exactly. Jazz channel. I like, honest to God,
think of like Kenny G-ish.
yeah,
Oh my God.
just very, very chill. Like if I had a
slow
busy
dance
day,
with my wife in high school.
I'm
Okay,
super
yeah.
weird like that sometimes.
My father-in-law, by the way, he loves putting it on watercolors as well.
See?
Watercolors, good for you.
Yeah,
Well,
there's something for everybody.
That's the whole point. Let's hear what Anthony has to say. Anthony, what are you listening to?
Well, I'm a diverse guy. Lithium is great. 90 on 90 is good too. Because of my other hat, I listen to 129, the Catholic channel. And sporting events that come up as well. So
what sports do you listen to on Sirius?
Well, obviously when soccer comes up or football, whatever you want to talk, I'm all about that, and NBL. Sorry.
Very, very cool. All right,
the Catholic channel. I like that one, Tony.
Catholic channel. Unfortunately, with my other hat with the Catholic school board, I listen to it a lot. Yeah.
They got a good talk show, the Catholic guy with Lino Rulli.
Lino Rulli from New York and / Minnesota.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
All right, Pat, you're up. What's your choice stations?
I'm super similar to Dave. I'm a big lithium guy. 90s on 9 sometimes. Old school hip hop is always great.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes when you just see it, I want to be mindless, just the comedy channels, 95 to 99 kind of thing, just stay in that range, or 94 to 99, just, skip through and jump back. And yeah, it's pretty good.
You know what? I like what you said there. It's because for me, and I'll leave Ricky to finish this. I'll share my little thing. I listen to everything. It really depends on what I'm doing and where I am, right? I find myself, if I'm on the highway, I like that country music. So, the highway, obviously. But yeah, lithium is big there, but I'm also big on Hair Nation. Hair Nation is a big one for me. And
gotta love the White Snake.
Yo, everything. All of it, right? From Rat to White Snake. But anyhow, and yeah, sometimes totally on that Conrad's thing. LL's, honestly, for all the hip hop channels, I find that one sits, maybe it's my age, I don't know, because it mixes everything from the OG to the gangster rap, and that's what I want to hear sometimes. Biggie Smalls will come up, and yeah, but Hair Nation too. That's me, and I like listening to Stern. I've always liked listening to Stern.
He's still one of our biggest assets and content.
But can I tell you something? I don't listen to him as much as I watch his videos. That's something that we didn't mention. I love watching the performances from Stern Studio live. I love that.
Something that you can't just get on audio.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Ricky?
Awesome. Oh, well, outside of Pearl Jam Radio and 80s on 8, I love LL Cool J's Rock the Bell radios as well. I'm kind of all over the place, but to be honest, more than recently, I've been really getting into creating those Pandora stations, which I encourage everybody that's using the app to give it a try, because again, you'll get such a wide variety, which you can customize. And again, it's interruption free. So you get just the music. And then if you can't, I found that you can't voice assist the Pandora station, but what you can do is start streaming it and then pair it over to your speaker so that you can still listen to it.
Very, very cool. Time's up, guys. Listen, I want to thank everybody who is here today, sharing ideas, because I think we got a lot of ideas. I saw Ricky writing down ideas a lot, but it's important that we do these forums to kind of share these ideas, share these perspectives to advance things in our industry, right? And if we can be the platform by which to do such, we're going to continue doing that. And it certainly wouldn't work without you guys making the time to be on forums such as this to have a voice. So thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to Dave, to Conrad, to Anthony, to Pat, and to Tony. Thank you for taking the time. But on that note, get back to work. We got lots of cars to work on.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, guys.
Appreciate the support.
See you guys.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ricky, mission accomplished, I think. I think there's some great ideas. There's stuff that we didn't even think about.
Yeah. Great ideas with the guests that we had on. Some great feedback from those that are listening in. Appreciate Corey's questions. And again, any and every opportunity, we're looking to always improve the support to the dealers, but as well as the customer experience. So I really appreciate everybody that was tuning in and providing their comments as well.
Absolutely. And if you're tuning in, it's because you're interested, because you want to maximize your profits. You want to maximize the service you give your customers. And SiriusXM is one of those things that could literally be slid in there without so much, without aggression, without being annoying. It's just, hey, want SiriusXM with that? You know what I mean? It's kind of like you want to upgrade to a Platine.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I'll say yes, unfortunately. But you know what I'm saying, though, right? But anyhow, Ricky, I want to thank you.
I love how you turn everything into food.
Bro, it's got to be. It's lunchtime, man. We gotta eat. Anyhow,
lunchtime.
I hope we do this again. Please, let's do this again.
Yeah. Well, we got December.
Get another mix.
Right?
Let's get another mix of retailers. See what that's all about.
I think this is a great thing to do, especially next year as I start to get on the road a little bit more. It'll be great to do some of the stuff in person as well, doing individual dealer highlights and as well as roundtables. So I'm excited for what we can do next year.
Absolutely. We talked about it. SiriusXM.ca is obviously the website. The 2 ways to save. You're 3 months free, $80 back. It's a really good, solid pitch. The customer benefits, dealer benefits. SXV300. Make sure you're on our dealer groups, CMA dealer groups. Whenever we have those promos, when Ricky puts them up, it'll be in those CMA dealer groups. And of course, you want to shout out to all your distributors, because man, SXV300 is pretty much available everywhere. So
it most certainly is.
No excuse.
So,
you can get it everywhere.
Yeah. We got stock on it, so don't worry about that. Make sure you contact your distributor.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Ben, as always, a pleasure.
Thank you for looking sexy. Choosing the right threads.
Now you're making me blush.
All right. All right. Talk to you later, Ricky. Thanks a lot. Take care, man. Bye-bye. There you have it, folks. SiriusXM, a little roundtable discussion with some key retailers. Appreciate them taking the time and coming on and sharing their ideas. Get more information, SiriusXM.ca, SXV300. Maximize your profits, guys. It's not that hard, and it's there for you to make it happen and make your customers happy. On that note, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. As always, I am your host, Ben Wu. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.